Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here. It's just shy of 3 p.m. on this Friday, and we wanted to come to you with another update on the weather scenario, the situation coming on through. As you're watching, go ahead and let me know where you are and what your reports are. We've got lots of comments on there of what is happening here in the area. We've got reports of snow in Thomasboro in Champaign County. That's coming from Shonda. Looks like thunder snow being reported in Rantoul and in Gilman, the same being reported. Lightning a few times. Brenda's saying that she is seeing that. A lot of snow, wind, and thunder as well in Leroy. So we appreciate those reports on a day like today. Quick question for Kim asking what happened for Channel 3. Our transmitter is out. The power was taken out. There's a bunch of power outages out there. Many of you probably are out of power. We are hoping to get that restored. The good news is we plan to stream on digital platforms our newscast at 5 and 6. So you can stay with us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can also stream on the WCIA3 News and Weather app. So that's just some housekeeping notes for you. Today has been quite the day in Central Illinois. We'll take a look at Kevin. He's working there. Hey, Kevin. Bit of a wild day today, hasn't it been?
Man, pretty crazy out here for sure. Quick note, we've switched over now in Champaign. This is our camera here at the studio, and we're seeing that slushy, wet snow that has changed over just in the past, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes or so, and it is coming down. It is just amazing the weather day that we have seen today, not necessarily in a good way, because we've had a lot of damage, there have been wrecks out there, but we've had everything. There's definitely some flooding that's happening out there. There's definitely that potential for accumulating snowfall to occur, and we're watching all of that out there as well tonight. But what's just crazy is we're watching these lightning strikes still show up across the area. And about 15 minutes ago, I had like 15 or 20 lightning strikes here, which would be your thunder sleet and your thunder snow that's happening. This is just in the past kind of 15 minutes, but we put the 30-minute. Look at the 30-minute lightning strikes here and all of those that are showing up. So a unique day to Central Illinois in that 70-mile-an-hour winds are occurring in multiple spots out there. You've got, again, the winter side of this. Easily, you could have almost issued severe thunderstorm warnings with some of these wind gusts out there, but just such a unique day. And these camera shots that we're getting from across the area of all of the snow that's suddenly starting to transition over. We can't even see our camera that's over in Springfield. We'll switch it over. Look at it bouncing around. It's literally whiteout conditions. Now it's up there pretty high, but we can't even really see anything. And then up in the Bloomington Normal area, we'll show you that camera. That's on
the ground.
And that one's on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, literally just whiteout that kind of showing up there. So here's the thing. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in here with us. Again, we're at the mercy of Ameren as well. Our power out at the transmitter, if you're familiar with it, it's a big tower. If you've ever been on I-72 there, it's just off I-72 there near Seymour, is how we send our signal out to Dish Network, DirecTV, over the air if you got an antenna. And so we have the same power lines that some of you may have coming to your house over there. And so we have to get that restored as well. Well, Ameren is dealing with this in, oh my gosh, thousands of places, and Jacob may talk more about some of the outages here coming up, but we have to wait for them to restore it. We can't, we're not any more special than others, so they're going to get to it when they can get to it. So we're hoping to switch it back on at 5. But we've got you here. If you're watching us right now, you can watch us during our coverage at 5 and 6, which is going to include a lot of elements. I was over in Urbana. There was arcing power line. Power line was just arcing right by a gas station. I'm not going to lie. I was sitting there going, oh my God. There's a gas station. There's gas pumps here. I'm sure they probably shut them off because it was literally, 20 feet, 30 feet maybe from those gas pumps over there. So just a wild day. There's been damage over in Bement. I believe Amanda Brendan's been over there. Our social media pages, if you've not been kind of following all of us, we're just pushing out stuff as fast as we can. But look at that. Look at State Farm Center right now, a winter wonderland out there. And wow, Jacob and Seth just popped in. Adam's been here all morning, the entire weather team. And that's what we kind of deliver here. WCA, the whole weather team in here jumps in when things are happening. And that's definitely happening here now. And we've got power issues out there, and it's going to continue for a while. And unfortunately, there's just so many places that are dealing with this here tonight. I'm actually getting ready to go out on the storm tracker. So typically it's Friday night. I do Kevin's weather on the road. I'm literally going to be doing the weather on the road. We're going to switch things up. A lot of times Jacob is in the storm tracker in the normal progression of day-to-day stuff when we do.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the storm tracker.
He's like, I'm good. So he's actually going to hang back here, do coverage. Seth is in here. We've been updating our weather blog and whatnot and capturing all of the pictures and things that you guys are getting into us. I'm getting ready to head out there. Well, here's the thing. My initial plan was I'm going to go up to Iroquois County, but I can start in Champaign and just kind of progress to the north because it's going to be snowing here for several more hours. Here's the thing. We're going to get accumulation. I'm convinced of that now because of the rates that we're seeing, and it's overcoming the melting, and those temperatures are a tiny bit cooler than we thought. So I think we are going to see some accumulation from this. Already hearing reports of accumulation in areas up north in Gilman and Iroquois County.
I just got a 3-inch report from Melvin.
Did you really?
3-inch from Melvin.
Oh my goodness, 3 inches up there. Here's the thing, guys. We're watching your reports. We're seeing what you guys are saying over here. We're going to keep looking at your comments. I encourage you, if there's any major damage that you've heard of, we're seeking that information. So I'm not just talking about maybe a small tree in your yard, but like if a tree landed on a house, if you've heard about something on a business or things that really bigger kind of events, we would love to hear from you on those. And we're going to be looking at the comments on here about this. The reason that this is such a concerning system is it's snowing, but the winds are 50 miles an hour right now. And it's literally creating whiteout conditions, I think, in some areas. Area interstates, there's a huge accident on I-57 at Pasodum. Happens every time we get a winter event, but right there on the curves and by the rest area, that's happening. And anticipate more because guess what? In about an hour and a half to 2 hours, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people are heading home. And there's going to be way more traffic out there, and it's going to be in the middle of what could be some of the worst of this snow. So,
I told my wife to go home early. I said, we're going home early. That's what I wanted to tell her.
That's good advice. Probably did that earlier. Now it's kind of a wash. You could try to go, but you're going to be getting in some of this stuff right now too, but arguably it will be worse potentially in a couple hours because you're going to have a couple hours of this snow now. So it is definitely a mess. My phone is blowing up here. My producer just walked in. And Tristan, he's texting us about the 5 o'clock newscast. There's just a lot going on. We're trying to gather as much information as we can. But thanks to you guys out there for tuning in and watching. And Seth's over there. Seth?
Yeah, we've got Seth here.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll let you
figured we would
introduce him over there.
And we had the full house to this. That's the great thing about this. All right, Seth, welcome. You just got out of class.
You can definitely tell this is not what I'm used to wearing.
What class did you just come out of?
I just got out of mesoscale dynamics, and funny enough, we're talking about all sorts
of
stuff.
There it is.
And bright banding, how to tell when the melting layers drop, all sorts of stuff like that. We're just going to give you a basic overview kind of what's going on here across the area right now. I'll switch sides just to kind of show you where those temperatures are at. And even though you don't see any 32s on here, actually you just see one there in Bloomington, you don't need 32 at the ground for snow to be falling. And like Kevin said, these snow rates are just so heavy that it's overcoming any kind of melting that we have at the ground. You can see just a little bit of a darker shade of blue out here towards the northwestern part of the area. To allow that snow is falling there right now. Down here to the southeast, temperatures closer up there to 40. You are avoiding there some of that wintry precip. But big thing lately here has just been the winds. We've had a lot of wind-related damage. Here's just your sustained wind speeds. This is not your top gusts. These are your sustained speeds over a course of time here. You see right here in the central part of the area. Champaign, 38 right now, 35 in Decatur, 40 down there in Mattoon. Actually did just get a gust not too long ago down there in Mattoon. I believe it was 73 or 74 miles an hour. Things getting pretty intense. I know we just had one gust pop up there on Champaign as well, up towards 67 miles an hour. It says 59 on here, but you can see 50, 60 mile an hour winds. And like they said, I just got out of class. I had to walk back from class. It's usually just about an 8-minute walk. My umbrella was folding itself inside out. I was getting rain slapped in my face. I had to just stop walking for periods of time just because the wind was just too brutal to just keep walking in it. So it's definitely not very pleasant to be out there right now. And I'm guessing to say that this isn't exactly the worst spot to be in. Now, like I said, those places there upwards of 70-mile-an-hour gusts. Things just getting crazy. And we're starting to get to that time, too, with these temperatures dropping. These wind chills are starting to take a little bit of a bite, too. I'll admit, when I was out there, I was starting to get a little bit of numbness there at the fingers. Wind chills around 20 in Champaign, 19 in Bloomington. Obviously, the further north you go, the colder it feels. 22 in Pontiac, 23 in Watseka. So things definitely feeling on the chillier side here as we start to head down that direction. Of course, visibility starting to become a big issue there with some of that blowing snow. And you just see anywhere just between 1 mile just to around 2 or 3 miles, especially up there where all that snow is blowing. Going to continue to see that here across the area, just those low visibilities as we start to get there closer to those evening hours. Definitely something to keep an eye on for, because Friday night drive time, getting back home, there are lots of stuff going on. Guys, that's about all I got right now. You guys can tell. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I was going to say, you're showing those visibilities, like literally, okay, if that starts dropping more and you've got 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, what is that? What is that, Seth and Jacob?
That sounds like a
blizzard? Blizzard? I mean, listen, visibility definition is 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts there. I think it's got to be 3 hours, I think, so that's probably where maybe it gets us. But
kind of getting to 3 hours.
Yeah, maybe we are. Quarter-mile visibility, so we're not at that threshold at 1 and 2 miles, but whew, man, that's the crazy thing is how fast the winds are blowing. Now you're taking raindrops that are now snowflakes, and those will just pelt you. It'll feel like little needles. And that's what I'm probably going to be feeling like when I'm outside at 5 and 6 o'clock in the Storm Tracker. When we jump out of the Storm Tracker and do a live hit, I'm going to maybe try to position myself with the snow to my back, I think is going to be the case. But a lot of power outages being reported. I just talked to one of our engineers, and I was like, hey, man, any update from Ameren on us? And he's like, nothing. We've been off for 2.5 hours. We don't know when it's going to be restored. So we're just kind of at the mercy of that again. But we've got thunder snow, thunder sleet, whatever you want to call it, in many locations here. I think I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I am, there's a lot. It's not just like the 1 or 2 strikes. You can see here, these are now,
a ton of
look at those now, okay? These are really starting to show up now there in DeFord and Iroquois County. Man, right there at Gilman, looks like a strike right there. And
that heavy band is just really intense right there.
Onarga and
Ashcombe. What was that, Seth, you learned today? Bright banding, right?
Yeah.
Bright banding. There you go. Bright banding. All right, guys. I'll let you guys kind of take over the rest of the stream here. I'm going to start getting ready for heading out on the road and
you're on the
pack it up.
What mic are you on? Prod 8?
I'm on Prod 8, yeah.
You're on 8? Okay, I'm going to turn yours off then. You're out, Kevin. You're clear. You're free from us here. We're going to talk more about what's coming and what to expect here across the region. I'm going to take the graphics full if you're watching, and we will talk about those here, so we'll get the right button on again. There's that band of heavy snow that is pivoting on through the region here. We have had some reports of 2 to 3 inches already in central Illinois, and that has been a problem for us here as we move on through. We'll continue to see those issues for quite a while, it appears.
I had some requests in the chat, if you can. They want to see the power outage map.
Yeah. I'm going to pull that up here in just a second, so we'll take a look at that. We'll get those numbers. We're going to take a look at what's moving forth and what we anticipate here. Let's start with Future Track and show you the general trend here of what to expect. Honestly, look at that. That's pretty great. And Kevin, you can kind of say this too. I know your mic's not on, but look how good Future Track is doing here compared to what it's showing. It's honestly got a very good handle on it, so I think this is going to show very well the progression of the rain and snow here. Notice 4 o'clock, there's the snow continuing, and it continues off to the east then. It moves through pretty quick. This band only sits over some spots for 2-3 hours, if that. But that is enough with these heavy bands that are dropping snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches plus per hour, and is going to cause problems.
Had another 60-mile-an-hour at CMI.
Yeah, I saw that. There was one probably about 10 minutes ago where we had a 68-mile-an-hour at Willard Airport. So those wind gust numbers, I had a graphic for that. I don't even know if I'm going to bother showing it. The wind is just simply unbelievable out here with what we've got. We continue to, I guess, realize our impact. It's a high-impact event. You can look at the color. you're affected, and you know that. You're out in the wind and feeling things here. We do expect, we're seeing some of those dustings occur a little further south and west here, so we've adjusted accordingly. Still, we think the biggest snow totals are in Ford, Iroquois counties, maybe parts of northern Vermilion County, but safe bet I think we'll get at least a little bit of snow here in central Illinois. Let's check road conditions real quick, give you an idea of that, and this update's as best as it can. I know there are some issues still. You can see the worst conditions at this point are north of Champaign-Urbana, but I tell you what, the visibility that Seth showed you, wherever you are, if you've got heavy snow and the wind, it's big problems for you with those wind conditions here, and so we continue to monitor that. The other thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to pop up the power outage map here, and bear with me for a second. I might have to play with the graphics to make that work correctly. Let me see here. I need to have scenes GR. There it is. I got to find the right graphic. That way I can pull that up. Let's see if that's working as it should. There it is. There's the power outage numbers. You can see here, and let me refresh that just to make sure that we've, because they continue to climb here by the hour. Now, Champaign County, we have seen some improvement. We're only at 616 outages, 800 in Piatt County, Shelby County at 1,200, Sangamon County at 3,400 here. We've got Macon County at 3,200. Logan and Christian County are under 1,000. There's outages in Montgomery County. Vermilion County at 500. At one point, we had several thousand in Champaign County, so crews are working to improve things here. And I'll show you on the Ameren map. I know a lot of folks saying, hey, what about, where I am? We can zoom in and see some of these areas that are having these little dots. All those little dots mean there's multiple outages in an area, and they are scattered here and there because of all of the trees and power lines that have come on down here. And the issue as well moving forth is as those trees get snow to stick on them, you get the strong wind, that's going to cause even more issues. A lot of outages in Decatur and surrounding areas. This is specific to Ameren. This includes all of the electric co-ops. So in Champaign County here, you can see Eastern Illini is good, Corn Belt's good. Ameren does have some issues. We go over to Macon County. There's some issues with Corn Belt, but a lot of them are Ameren related. A lot of times it seems like the rural electric cooperatives, they don't have as many trees around them, so they tend to fare better than a lot of your city areas, but still, problems are going to be anywhere. For example, Shelby Electric Cooperative reports 1,200 customers out of power at this time. I want to give you some ideas and resources here. First off, on our website, the Winter Weather Center. If you go here, you see the drop-down menu at the top of the page. Weather, and there's some different things in the drop-down that can help you. URL to this site is WCI.com/weather/winter. We've got road conditions on there that update pretty consistently here. And this updates as quick as it can. But if you see snow, count on those roads to be slippery. And the other thing is it's going to be a problem trying to, even see with the visibility where it is here. Of course, our website, just go to WCI.com, open up your weather app. The weather alerts are populating at the top of the page. This one here, the top story is our live blog, but we've also got information on semi-rollovers on I-74 and I-72. Also one at I-57 in Posodum, and lots of information. This story in particular, right here, you see this highlighted. Roof flies off Bement Automotive Garage in high winds. We spoke to the owner of that business. His home actually had a fire this morning. At lunchtime, he lost the roof to his business here. So Amanda Brennan has been getting that story. That will be coming up at 5 and 6. Live blog, we've got some of those updates on there. We were talking about rec. We get them. We got viewer power outage numbers as we have them updated, and much more on there. So be sure and head on over and see that. And see the videos as well. Power lines down. There's the story of the family business that lost the roof. So be sure and go and check that out as we move on through. I want to mention wind gusts. That's the other problem today. We have upped this graphic pretty considerably. The highest number, and Seth, you can count me wrong, is it 72, 73?
73, I believe. Let me show. Yeah, 72.
72 mile an hour wind gusts in Mattoon. That's the strongest here. I think this list holds, but I know there's been some new high reports here. 72 in Mattoon, 69 mile an hour in Champaign. Didn't we just have a few minutes ago another 68?
We just had, another one.
And I think the 69 was 2 hours ago.
That was at 12:30, it looks like, and that most recent one came
So
in
we've
at
had
2:30.
2-3 hours of wind gusts here of 60 to 70 miles an hour, and there may be some potential for higher amounts here over the next little bit. We've got some zones of 70 to 75 across a good chunk of east central Illinois. This, folks, is a system where I think it's safe to say we're almost living through a kind of a historic weather day here, given what we're seeing. I mean, we've got just an unbelievable setup. The winds are awful. There is damage all over the place. We've gotten so many viewer photos and reports of trees down, lines down, damage to buildings. It's been horrendous. And the thunder snow, good grief. I kind of want to go stand outside and see if I can hear some myself, because it is not every winter that you hear thunder snow. And the amazing thing with this, Seth, is just how impressive that thunder snow has been here over the last couple of hours and that heavy band. It takes a lot of energy in the atmosphere. Look at that. Good grief. That's just unbelievable. Now, Champaign-Urbana, you can see that band there from Decatur up towards southeast McLean County. That is pivoting, and our heaviest snow is probably yet to come here as we see a couple of those bands. There is another really heavy band from Springfield to the north through Lincoln and off to the west of Bloomington. And then we've had pretty heavy snow for several hours in Iroquois County and Ford County. It is falling very fast. It is falling very heavy here. And so we are dealing with, let's see, if I went to Dairy Queen and I got an ice cream that was full of mixed candies, that would be a DQ.
That'd be a DQ Blizzard.
Blizzard, yeah, yeah. Right? Am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
I don't know. Copyright? I don't know.
We're dealing with a really impressive winter storm here, folks. This was the higher end scenario. We weren't quite sure, but it has panned out. It almost, it follows the rules so well, it almost is breaking the rules in the sense of what can happen with these strong low pressures. There's a lot of weather sites down in southern Illinois and southern Indiana that have had some of the lowest measured air pressures in their history in southern Illinois, and that's producing this impressive band to the north. You see to the south here all these severe weather events going on. I mean, they've had quite a bit down there too. Some tornado watches across now Kentucky, Tennessee, into Georgia, the Carolinas. Looks like down by Atlanta, maybe north of Atlanta, even a tornado warning there. But certainly this has been a pretty incredible event. And we'll show you here just to give you an idea. We have been on the winter side. It has been bad on both sides. There's not one side that's better than the other here. So local storm reports. I know down by Paducah they had a confirmed tornado in the south side of town. There's been damage there. You can see all of our wind damage. You're just concentrated in our region, all these wind reports and whatnot as that band wraps around. But there's been a lot of severe weather activity to the south there. So certainly that has been quite the issue. Let me see if there's anything else I want to look at here. We'll show you the high wind warning. Again, as soon as that came out during the noon show, we pushed that on the app, and that's when things started to get really bad here. Our TV station, again, for those of you asking, is out due to the power outage, the wind. It has been a problem all over. We've had some flood advisories and flood watches with rain totals. You got any rain total numbers over there, Seth?
I'll try to filter through them. I have some snow totals starting to filter in here now too. Let me go to the bottom part of that because that'll start getting me closer to those. That heavy rain, as high as I see.
Lots of 1 and 2s?
Yeah, lots of 1 and 2s. 2 inches just outside the area over in Richland County down by Olney. Got close to 2 there in Newton down in Jasper County as well.
And then I see we had a snow report of 3 inches in Melvin.
Yes.
What else you got on there?
As far as snow reports go, the highest that has been officially reported so far, I'm seeing 1.7 over by Shirley up in McLean County. Now, of course, with snow continuing to fall, those numbers will go up a little bit. That's the highest snow one I have at this
From the
moment.
National Weather Service. Yeah, we've had some viewer reports say, hey, I got 3 inches, and we thought that might be a case.
That's exactly why we need the people who are listening to us to send those in, because they're the first ones to see it happen.
I mean, we look outside. Look at Pontiac. Wow. I tell you what, if this was a event that happened in, say, early February when we had temperatures several days ahead in the 20s and 30s, there was no problem with cold air, we'd be dealing with
this would
I mean,
big.
it would rival last February. Was it last February?
Late January or February.
Last January or February. It would fit in with those types of storms. This would have been an incredible storm system. That's a look in there. Let's go up to Gibson City. That camera sits low on the ground and gives us a good idea of what we're looking at. And I bet we're seeing snow stick in there as well.
Oh,
well,
man,
we can't even see it. That camera looks to the north and west, so
and
that's why we're not
exactly
seeing anything
where it's coming
there.
from, the wind.
Good on Effingham, down by Seth's That's sometime there.
Seth
We got the
Country.
Effingham here. What are they saying? Still looks like just rain.
Mostly rain,
Are there
yep.
flakes mixing in there a little bit?
That looks a little, pretty thick there for
It's a
rain.
little flaky there. Someone at Effingham will let us know. We go to Charleston. I'm sure we're seeing some snow starting to mix in, across that area. There's some rain, maybe not yet. I don't think further south we'll see as much, but I've seen some reports of the snow in parts of Macoupin County covering the roads and whatnot. I mean, that's like a winter wonderland
Yep.
there. The Bandit seemed to be starting to clear out of Springfield, if I remember correctly, looking at that. And I think next in line is Champaign. Geez. That is just coming down, folks. It is, we say it's rain in buckets. It's snowing buckets.
Snow in
Champaign.
buckets.
Someone's up high in the sky dumping buckets of snow on us here. Very incredible to see this setup, and that's again at the studio. Good grief.
That is really ramped up since 30 minutes ago when I came in here. It was just kind of starting to flake up, and now that's full on.
We were wondering, okay, the ground is warm. We know it's warm, but that was the question. Like,
Yeah.
come on, we were at 64 earlier this week. Like, what are you doing, Mother Nature? The warm ground is not the end all for snow, folks. You can have snow, and just like we're seeing today, heavy snow rates will overcome that. And this is probably one of the most classic examples of that there. I mean, visibility, you can barely see the power plant on the left side of the screen. It's under a mile. You showed that graphic there.
Yep.
Let's swing down to Mattoon. We'll go over to Decatur next. I know Decatur, Piatt County. There's Mattoon. Things moving still there. Okay.
Street lights kind of moving
Just
around
wet.
a little bit too.
Mattoon's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
There's nothing going on. It looks like that snow transition just northwest of them there. Decatur, we can't see that one. I wonder if I can turn it. I'm going to try and turn it. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing here. Can I get... this isn't TV. This is digital. We can take our times
That's
around here,
right.
right?
That's
okay, we're going
right.
to try and turn this camera and see if we can...
Make out
I don't
any
know.
Sort of,
Okay, it's moving. I know that. I'm going to turn it to the east. Okay, something's moving on it. I wonder if I move it quick enough, it'll knock the snow
just
off the
kind of
range.
shake it off all in one.
Yeah.
one
Let
swoop.
the wind take care of that. So there's
Kind of starting to see a little bit of background, a little bit.
something's happening there. Let me swing it back to the west. See if that we're trying to shake the snow off our camera. Good grief! It's wet snow. It's very sticky. It's sticking to trees. It's sticking to power lines. And with that wind out there, that's even more problematic. All right, I'm going to call that a lost cause, trying to mess with the Decatur camera. Let's
salvage an
turn it to the
image.
east and see what happens. Gibson City's covered. We've got the cameras here in town. Danville. Let's go to Danville next. I've started to see some of the first reports saying, hey, we're getting a little snow in the Danville area here, so we'll pop up that camera before we wrap up here. Our next update will come during the newscast at 5 and 6. And there it is, Danville. Not much. You see those first flakes coming down, the wind really strong across the area, and that is no exception for Danville. Okay, one last check here, folks. If you've got a report, let us know. I want to read some of those reports here and see. I'm just checking other reports. Champaign-Urbana just had that 52 knot gust. It's been a wild day here in Central Illinois. Okay, let me get the graphics up. Let us know where you are and what you're seeing. Snow is covering grass and sidewalk in Gibson City and not melting. I-72, a slick, slushy mess. Yeah, imagine it being a slick, slushy mess with such strong winds. It's not a good scenario. Mattoon's got big trees down. I want to have some good news. Somebody points this out here. Yes, Monday is going to be near 70. In fact, tomorrow, I got 50 on the board for a high.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something? Yeah, right?
We had close to 70 on Wednesday.
Sheesh.
Then this, and just...
The weather will.
It's been anything but a normal winter. Everybody knows
The
that.
weather will do what it's want. 7 miles south of Charleston, still rain, sleet in Danville. Wind uprooted a big tree at Country Squire. Some folks are saying they have Channel 3. If you have cable, it's working on some cable, but direct dish and antenna is offline because of the transmitter.
I do have an image that came in on my Facebook.
Oh, you know, I've got some images as well.
Had a little bit of damage towards a home, and they're seeing some thunder snow there.
Go ahead
right
and
now,
take that to Maggie.
Yep.
And your mic is sports, right?
I am sports,
I'll
yep.
take that off. You can. I think we've got someone up that way, so we might be able to send someone there for that. I do want to show you some photos that I've gotten, and I know those photos are coming in fast and furious here. So let's see if this works. This was the earliest that we had in Central Illinois. This came up by Clifton about lunchtime. That's when we knew we were in some trouble here. This came from Carrie Hansen. She's a loyal follower up there, and very edge of our viewing area, and she keeps us updated with what's going on. Things are really bad up there. We've got reports of 2 to 3 inches of snow. There's that roof that's blown off of that building in Bemet. We've got icy stuff. A lot of these photos are earlier. I'll be totally honest about that. Here you can see someone's there on the passenger side, the way that windshield wiper is, so that's good news. But the roads are covered and they're slushy here. It's not fun, and that 5 o'clock rush hour is going to be interesting. This is a time lapse. I'm really excited to see this one. Time lapse in Springfield over 45 minutes. Had that come into my Facebook message, and you can see the snow starting to stick and add on up there. That's really fascinating to see. That's super cool. That's a really cool video of that time lapse. See that one? 45-minute time lapse in our area. So wow, that's pretty stunning to see. We've got that wind damage. There's lots of it. These trees down. We've got, you know, problems left, right, up, and down. You're looking out the window. That is the power lines arcing. There's the semi on I-50, I-74. That one is. There's semis, I think, in every interstate that are offline here. So that's my wife. She brought me lunch. I had to take a picture of her. Okay, Seth. We're going to wrap this up here on our digital platforms. Any last thoughts before?
Just, I mean,
you can step in here behind me. If you want.
just
Michael Heath walking behind us there on live Facebook. Hi, Michael.
Yeah, continue to hang in there. I mean, we've still got plenty to go here tonight. Of course, we'll have as much
7, 8
coverage as we
p.m.
can.
We're done, aren't we?
Yeah.
So quick. Such a quick hit. It's like Mother Nature is coming in
Just one
hit
swoop.
because we're so warm tomorrow. So certainly that is going to be an issue. Okay, one last check of radar here before we go, and then we'll sign off. Again, if you want to look at radar, you can head over to the WCI3 weather app. On the back side, there will be a transition back to rain. These snowflakes will be big. They will be wet. We've had reports of dinner plate size snowflakes. We've had reports of softball size snowflakes, baseball size snowflakes. I've seen all of it coming on in here, of course, with all that power outage. Catch the news live at 5 and 6 right here, wherever you're watching us now. We will stream that because of the issues with our signal. There's a lightning strike just popped up down by Broadlands. So it's not done yet. Lightning count down a little, but it's not done yet, folks. We've still got plenty of time here, a couple more hours. Some 2 to 3 inch reports coming in from northeast. There's some more, a couple more, one by the airport. See if we hear some rumbles soon here. So, okay, folks, we'll keep you updated. Next check, 5 o'clock during the news. We'll see you right here.